Well, there's 10.0.1, there's 10.1 info here from Doran. Let's see what he has to say about the lore coming in with 10.1.
Most recently was
I think we're getting this very soon. I believe we have a date. Or a season, at least. Spring. But let's see what this is all about here. More Old God. Maybe. Just more lore in general.
Most recently was determined that the first major patch of Dragonflight 10.1 is going to have the main narrative campaign by the name of Embers of Neltharion. Now, interestingly enough, in the minor pre-patch 10.0,
very obviously going to get the Deathwing, Neltharion Deathwing storyline here.
7, we are going to Forbidden Reach into Neltharion's vaults and private libraries and learning the secrets of the aspect of Earth. There is, as right there, we discovered his private library where he studied the Titans and the Old Gods. We learned that there might be a 5th Old God, that there could be a hidden continent.
Just talked about
a whole bunch of other real history that was apparently hidden from us. Furthermore, we have underground hints. We learned that not all elementals were imprisoned. We know that there are 4 elemental elders of the Jaradin who are hiding somewhere. We know Iridikon is also going underground. So what is 10.1 going to be about? Let us compile every single hint that we currently have and see what the first major patch of Dragonflight is going to be about. It is literally the 3rd year that Ridge Wallet sent me this thing, and I've been using it pretty much ever since. I haven't used anything else.
Man, Ridge Wallet pops off on sponsorships. Where are these guys coming from?
Perfectly, and there's just so many designs you can choose from. The wallet is super useful. You can put cash, you can put up to 12 cards. It's really just great. Now, if you use my code Doron, you can get a really great discount. So make sure to check out my link in the description below and get your own Ridge Wallet.
Not working out today, Doran.
So for pretty much months at this point, we had known that we might be going somewhere underground in 10.1. Like, we literally learned this months before Dragonflight was even released that there were some data mined maps that were called underground, not revealed before 10.1. Now,
90, I agree with what you're saying there. A few weeks
ago, we got even more similar hints that further solidified it.
Each Old God kind of has their own little, you know, niche, right? Their own specialty. Yeah, Yasharaj was known to be powerful. We know Nazath was the schemer, the planner. Maybe this one is another intelligent, devious type that can escape things.
This theory, however, I would say when we
Thank
got
you so much for that hype train, guys.
Ending with the Vault of the Incarnates and the Iridikon, and they talked about how he's hiding underground and how we need to reach him, I can say with 90% certainty we are obviously going to go somewhere underground in 10.1. Now, here's the thing, we got the roadmap for Dragonflight for 2023 and know that the patch will be coming out between the spring and the summer, so personally my best bet is that this is going to happen somewhere around May this year. However, I'm really liking the addition of these micro patches that they're doing between, as it would definitely be really boring if we just had to wait 6 months without any single hint or any content whatsoever between the patches. Now, personally, I expected these mini patches to be just kind of flavor content, and they kind of are with introductions of the features such as the trading post.
Yag is a beast.
Unexpectedly, they also seem to include quite a bit of the story, or kind of like story light. I can't say we got anything with 10.0.5, but with 10.0.7 we got a crazy Titan Old God book directly from Neltharion's private library. We are going into Forbidden Reach, his vault. We are more than likely going to learn about how he actually created the Dractyr, why they were really created, and even more interestingly, we got some insane new hints, such as the confirmation of a 5th Old God, the possibility of a new hidden continent, a potential
5th Old God's gonna play a big role
that was written out of history, and a bunch of other Old God and elemental hints. It seriously seems like 10.0.7 is not just a flavor patch, but it is a legit prelude to 10.1, and now just a few days ago a brand new thing was data mined, and that is the name of the narrative campaign of the first major patch of Dragonflight. It will be called Embers of Neltharion, and I think that is a pretty huge hint for how the story is going to progress. First of all, the major hint we have for 10.1, as I said, is going to be underground related. This could mean 2 scenarios, either Neltharion or Iridikon related, but personally, I feel like it is going to...
Definitely, you know, it could be both, because Iridikon is essentially the primalist version of Neltharion. They are both like the Earth Warden style, right? Neltharion was underground all the time. He was the Earth Warden of the dragon aspects. And then you got Iridikon, who is essentially the earthen version of the primalists. So they're both underground. We're going to go under. We're going to see what's going on. And don't forget, part of the reason why Neltharion started speaking with the Old Gods was because he was kind of by himself underground, and the Old Gods had seeped their way into the planet.
to be both. Iridicron and Neltharion are
gonna be
kind of
both.
parallels to each other, with one
Yeah.
being elemental while the other is Titan, and both are
just
connected
said.
to the deep places of Azeroth, and I'm guessing both of them managed to learn about this hidden thing that no one knew anything about. In order to not repeat myself, you can check out the details in the previous videos, but essentially, the current hints are that when the Titans ordered Azeroth, they weren't exactly all that successful in removing the old god influence, and they might have had
He's gonna be the
keep a
end
few
game boss
things
of
under the
Dragonflight.
rug
Yeah,
and
maybe.
just hide it from everyone, just write it out of any history. Seeing that Neltharion and Iridicron have this access to the depths that pretty much no one has, it is highly likely that they have managed to hide it. Iridicron is said to have worked with some really dark force, and seeing that we learned about this really dark force evil from a Titan affiliated Alexstrasza, their worst enemies are the old gods, so it is highly likely that it could be that. Now in 10.0.7 we learned that Neltharion had a secret lab. There is actually Azerite present for some reason, we still don't really know why, and as you know, this is the blood of the world soul. There is even a
What
Titan
sword?
book that has
The
the
hell was
notes
that?
from some sort of an old god affiliated being. There was more than likely some sort of an advisor to Neltharion, which is obviously going to be a huge story point for Dragonflight. So it is without a doubt that Neltharion has been deep in learning what actually happened back in the day. Now, I have an entire video on this theory, but there is a possibility that
Yeah, see, we all know now the Titans have been lying to us the entire time, and of the dragon aspects, the first one who would have learned this would have been Neltharion, because he was hearing, you know, he was kind of speaking to the old gods. So he was the first of the dragon aspects to kind of get both sides of the story.
they may be setting up Neltharion as the original Illidan, like the bad guy, but sort of the good guy as well. Sort of the guy that realized that he's
The bad guy was
stuck
willing to
between
do
a
it.
rock and
The
a
good
hard
guy was
place
willing
with
to do
the
anything.
old gods on one side, the Titans on the other, and he doesn't really have free will to do anything. So he may have tried to leverage both magics to break free from this mechanism, but ultimately he succumbed to the old gods, as all of you know. I'm guessing we're going to be learning all about that in 10.1. 10.0.7, the way it is set up with Forbidden Reach and the recent hints, seems to be kind of the setup for the first major patch, so we may be finding books like this, learning a bit about Neltharion's true motives, the nature of the Titans, the nature of the old gods, and their goals. But personally, I think the first major culmination is going to happen in 10.1. Seeing that the campaign itself is named the Embers of Neltharion, it's probably either going to be like the initial spark that created a fire that turned him into Deathwing, or the remnants of that fire, sort of the legacy his transformation left, the legacies that still shrouds the Dragon Isles up to this day. Now,
to me, embers are like kind of, I don't know what's left off. I don't know, what's the definition of an ember? It's called the Embers of Neltharion. I would think maybe it's like what's left behind.
patch itself is set to contain
what
a
that
new
means.
zone and a new raid as well.
More
With
than
all the
what
previous
the
hints,
start
I'm
was.
expecting this new zone is going to be an underground one, possibly access to the Forbidden Reach, as we will be going there in 10.0.7. This could be a hidden Titan vault, or it could be a fifth Old God's prison. Furthermore, it could realistically be a new type of a deep hole. Most recently, we learned from
When
the
I
new
think underground,
document
that's what I
that said
think of
that
as
the
deep hole.
Titans never managed to contain the elementals in the elemental plane as we had known by history. At least they haven't managed to contain them fully. Now, with the recent Jarden info for elementals, we learned that they apparently have 4 elders that hid themselves somewhere underground after they lost the battle with Neltharion and the Black Dragons. Seeing that the
In a
elementals
dying
even
fire.
roam the world in the
There you go. There's a definition. A small piece of burning or glowing coal or wood in a dying fire. Dying fire, like I said, tells me that it's what's left behind. What's left over from the fire, not the start of it. So that's what I think we're going to hear about. You know, things that were left behind by Neltharion.
first place and could even fight dragons, means that they weren't really all imprisoned during the Titan Old God War. Even more interestingly, we also learned that the Jardim are searching for them as we speak. So, in my opinion, this could definitely be related to that as well. In fact, I think this is the highest possibility out of all of them. We also
So the Desjardins are going to have a bigger role in WoW than just being a rep grind. That's good.
learned that in the past, Iridicron had allied himself with the elementals and the Jardim, so I could definitely see this 10.1 patch being related to elementals with slight hints of the old gods, while the old god lore will culminate in 10.2, which is probably going to be the major patch because it should come out sometime maybe before BlizzCon, when they're probably going to announce the next expansion as they're already working on it. So we will definitely get to know what is going on with the story before we learn what is going to be coming next. Furthermore, Some people are speculating that we might see the return of Deathwing. Personally, I don't really see it happening. However, there is
I'm just
actually
joking
a pretty
about
decent
that.
lore
That's all they
setup
currently
for
are, is a
Void
rep crime.
Deathwing and him being used by the old gods as a weapon. As we had recently learned from Shadowlands, only mortals really go to that afterlife, and all the other cosmological forces have their own afterlives. When beings are infused, like mortals are infused with a certain energy, they end up going to that energy's afterlife. For example, the Titan Argus was infused by that magic, so he went to the Shadowlands, but he wasn't supposed to go to the Shadowlands. Seeing the Deathwing by his end was pretty much all void, it is very likely that he's in the void afterlife, and I could totally see the Void Lords or the old gods using him as a weapon in the future. However, I really don't see that happening as soon as 10.1. My thoughts are that the first patch is going to be mainly focused on the Ridicron.
That would be like an
end
of expansion
Embers
boss.
of Neltharion is going to mean like us following the trails of Neltharion. Figuring out the clues, getting into why he eventually turned into Deathwing, discovering more books from his libraries, possibly more laboratories, and maybe even this hidden elemental zone. Most importantly, we might learn why exactly is the blood of the World Soul Azerite present in Neltharion's walls, and how did he even manage to access it? Did he find a way to extract it? Did he find it himself? Did he wound the World Soul? Or is this place some sort of a place of power where Azerite can easily be accessed? All of that will of course be answered quite soon, as I'm guessing we might be going into 10.1 PTR in the very near future. Thank you for watching. Check out what could be the next expansion after Dragonflight by clicking on the screen, and check out Doronsmovies Academy for videos of real world history. See you next time.
I mean, we know, like we said before, we know Neltharion and all that's going to play a big role. Embers of Neltharion, like I said, tells me by the definition of Embers that we're seeing what was kind of left behind. We're probably going to go through his books and his libraries and all that shit and see exactly, why did he lose his mind? Why did he kind of choose the side of the old gods? Why did he agree to kind of hang out with them? Do shit with them. Let them in. We'll see. But we do know, for one, Neltharion knew way more from both perspectives than any of the other dragon aspects. So I'm not ready to say he was wrong. That's the thing. But you know what I am ready to say? It's time to kill Heroic Razageth. Let's get into that.